Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell.
Morning, 8:29 minus 1. I'm Brent Jones.
I'm Brenda Tyrrell.
This is Fort Erie Radio. Welcome back to the show. Chris Somerfield is here. Realtor.
Hello.
Realtor extraordinaire from Portfolio Realty Group. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
He was born for this.
Yeah,
He's
it's
ready.
ready. I was practicing on the drive up here.
Were you?
Yeah.
Hey, if you got real estate questions, now's the time to text them in, 289-931-8400. I got a pressing question to start.
Yeah, shoot.
Why are you not a smug prick like other realtors?
Trying to make a name for myself in a different light, I suppose. I
see.
mean, I also don't have the budget for as many billboards as some of the other guys out there.
Oh, yeah.
So
This guy?
Yeah, the ones
I
with
just made an arm
with
gesture.
arms wide open. That's right. But I don't know. Like I've always been a very grounded, down to earth person, and I've always been focused on
Humble, too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you might not have a budget for the big posters, but you got enough budget for like Power Ranger outfits.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh
true.
yeah, well, I mean, money well spent, right? So, I mean, that's the investment that keeps on giving. So,
In a sea of like 1,300 plus realtors in Niagara region, how do you stand out? The answer is put on a Power Rangers costume
right.
when you do listing videos on social media.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Any costume I can get my hands on too. Party City's solid because they don't even wait until Halloween. 24/7, they always have costumes. So whenever I need a devil costume or anything else, like a banana costume, I've been used several
I remember-
times.
yeah, the banana one was dope. Yeah, I
Yes.
remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. On your
Well, you better
socials.
stock up because they file for Chapter 11.
Okay, well, I got to head over there then.
Usually we end this way, but why don't we start? Why don't you plug your socials? Because, I mean, you are doing things different, I think, than a lot of Niagara realtors. Where do people find you online?
Sure. I mean, you can do a quick Google search of my name, Chris Somerfield. That's Somer. Everyone tries to spell it Summer, S-U-M-M. It doesn't work.
You're more like Somerfield.
Somerfield, yeah. So
yeah,
Chris
yeah.
Somerfield. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. You can also find the Portfolio Realty Group on YouTube, where you end up finding a whole plethora of my previous listing videos that we're referencing. So
Now, you do a lot of business kind of all over the region. Like you're based out of St. Catharines, your
Yep.
office is, but you do a lot of business here in Fort Erie as well. So what is
Yep.
what is the market outlook looking like here coming up on the spring market? Are we
Well,
going to have a spring market this year, or is it
yeah,
going to be?
that's the big question, right? And I think that's a big question every year is what is the spring going to look like? And over the last like 5 years, it always seems very uncertain of what to expect. Especially the last 2 years has been kind of floundered more or less, right? However, there seems to be all sorts of aspects that makes it seem like the spring market could be very lucrative. I hate to reference it, but during COVID, like the series of uncertainty that occurred there ended up creating this incredible housing market, almost unbelievable to the point where, you know,
Incredible for sellers.
yeah, for sellers on one side, but not the other,
Let's be
right?
clear. Yeah,
but
yeah.
I reference that because right now we're dealing with all sorts of different uncertainties in the world. But this time it seems to be favoring buyers. You end up driving anywhere in the neighborhoods of Fort Erie and you see a sea of lawn signs out there.
There's like 400 homes on the market.
Tons.
In Fort Erie. It's
There's
crazy.
so much
Yeah.
inventory and very few buyers that are willing to pull the trigger because they just want to see what's going to
How
happen.
low is this going to go?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think everyone's looking for the bottom to come out. It's hard to say if you're really going to see something like that occur. You're probably going to see some price corrections, but you see the Niagara region and the city and the Bank of Canada really getting in the forefront of trying to get buyers off the couch to do something because there is opportunities out there. So if you're a buyer out there that can afford the prices that are currently out there with the interest rates being as low as they are right now and the inventory that's available to you, you have room to negotiate, which I think buyers just didn't have for years.
Definitely not.
Now, one of the things that you're doing right now to help take the, uncertainty out of things is you've got like a home inspection thing going on.
Yes, yeah. So the Portfolio Realty Group has got an incentive going on this year where any of our buyers that work with us, we end up covering the home inspection. So we're offering free home inspections to our buyers. So then that way they can buy with confidence finally, because I feel like they've been dealt the short end of the stick when it comes to putting in offers because they would have to deal with multiple offers and bidding wars and going in unconditional. So now we can have conditions of home inspection so then you can buy with confidence.
Now, why do you need to have a home inspection? Like, don't you have to disclose anything that's wrong with the house to the person buying it anyway?
Sure. To an extent, sellers do need to disclose any defects that are in the house that they know of. But there's a lot of times where there could be issues somewhere where the sellers don't know about it. There could be mold behind walls or issues in the attic or what have you, right? So home inspectors are good for that. They're good for being able to check attics, furnace, AC, check for mold, foundation issues.
Get up on the roof.
They get up on the roof and they look. They peek their head in the attic and they look for you. They take photos. They give you estimates. So then that way you know exactly what your investment's going towards, and then you can decide as a confident buyer whether this property is going to be a good fit for you or not.
Now, if you're just joining us, we're speaking with Chris Somerfield from Portfolio Realty Group, and the home inspection is an interesting thing because you're covering I assume the cost of it, and I assume the buyer is still choosing the home inspector they want to work with. It's not like you have to work with Chris's buddy here from...
Yeah, because unfortunately, like you hear the bad side of real estate, and then you always hear that where the realtor ends up bringing in their own home inspector.
Right.
They give the green check mark, and then 3 to 6 months down the road, there's issues. And then we don't want that.
You choose your own home inspector.
Our buyers get to choose their home inspector. We can recommend some names. We usually recommend a few, so then you can make the choice.
Yeah.
But buyers can choose their home inspector. We cover that bill, and you can purchase your home with confidence.
And I also have to say this as a fellow realtor. I assume you're covering that bill after closing.
No, it's right. No, it's,
you're far more generous than I am. I'd be like, no, I'm not covering that.
Try to convince a home inspector that. Like, well,
you pay it and I'll reimburse you.
Checks in the mail, brother. Yeah.
No, what's the easiest thing that someone can do to increase their property value?
As a seller, like what they can do to improve it.
Yeah.
Or
a buyer, like whatever.
Sure. So one of the biggest things that are going right now is adding accessory dwelling units to homes. So if you have an unfinished basement or a partially finished basement, that seems like there's an opportunity there to put in a rental unit or an in-law suite, as you want to call it. That's probably the biggest and best way you can end up adding value to your home. And there's lots of incentives available, like I said, on the regional level as well as the city levels to encourage that.
Because the town of Fort Erie has a program for that.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they ended up introducing the Affordable Housing Community Improvement Plan last month.
Did you pull that off our website?
I did.
FortErieRadio.ca?
No, I pulled it. I got it. So,
yeah. I'm saying we covered it.
Oh, did you? I'm sure you did.
Of course we did.
I'm sure you did.
Go
Yeah.
on.
So it's the dwelling unit grant is a big thing, and every city in Niagara has it. So no matter where you're listening from, Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, Grimsby, whatever, like your city has an accessory dwelling unit grant because everyone is encouraging more doors and more affordability for buyers or renters. So
is that the solution to this crazy housing crisis? Is that everybody needs to build an accessory unit onto their house? Is it the opposition's perspective of just build more homes everywhere? Is it?
Well, I mean, how much
solve?
sprawling can you do?
Right? How do you? Well, I think in Canada probably a lot. There's a lot of space.
Sure, but I mean, let's look at Niagara as a whole, right? So we're essentially landlocked where we're at. To the north, we got a lake. To the south, we got a lake. To the east, we have the river, and then to the west, we have the escarpment.
So is it build up? Is that
the
solution?
So it's going to be build up, right? So and you're seeing that a lot, and unfortunately, you run into a lot of the. What is it? NIMBYs, as they're called?
Not in my backyard.
Right?
Yeah.
You run into a lot of that
I don't want two
opposition.
stories next door to me.
Yeah. You got folks that have lived in their homes for decades and used to like the single family subdivisions, where in reality, like those type of properties don't really work. So then when an opportunity arises for more apartments, there's a lot of pushback from the public, but the reality is that we need that.
Right.
So
Well, isn't it fair that the people that are already living in that neighborhood should have an opinion to be able to keep their neighborhood the way it is?
Of course they can have an opinion, but I think it depends on where that opinion is coming from. Is it for the greater good, or is it because you don't like the view of an apartment building in your backyard? I mean, I get that there's some negativity there, but in the grand scheme of things, like there's issues with housing and we need more doors available. So I mean, the cities and the municipalities are going to be working towards trying to make more doors happen, and those type of roadblocks are always going to occur. But the reality is, it just needs to move forward. So,
well, there's the flip side of it too, where you go like, well, your kids, your great grandkids, do you want them to buy a house one day too? Right?
Well, that's exactly.
If you want them to enjoy home ownership, you got to build something somewhere, whether it's up or out or otherwise, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to leave this place scorched earth, right? Like you got to be able to kind of move forward. So.
What's one of the biggest mistakes that homeowners make when they're trying to sell?
I feel like a lot of sellers, especially lately, they seem to over-improve their properties. They seem to put in brand spanking new kitchens, thinking that, dollar for dollar, that's going to end up improving their value, when in reality, it essentially doesn't. When you do big ticket items like kitchen, bathrooms, they don't translate exactly, especially in a high inventory market where you're just competing against your neighbors. Unfortunately, right now, like with so many listings available, the pricing for sellers, they're just kind of racing to undercut each other in order to get those sales. So
Isn't that one of those things that seems to, much like how fashion changes from year to year, it's the same thing. Like years ago, they were saying you need to have a bigger kitchen, you need to have those are the selling points of your house, where now the selling point is basement apartment.
Yeah, it's basement apartments. It's the location, and it's elbow room. Like after the pandemic, like everyone was big on backyards and having elbow room. So those tight subdivisions that they built or started to build, they're at a standstill now because they just don't seem as appealing as to something that has a bit more elbow room, like somewhere in South Niagara.
And some of them here in Ridgeway just got burned down a couple of weeks ago. So
yeah, that seems to be going around too.
A little bit of that happening.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe the raccoon got out there too. I don't know. So.
Chris Somerfield, how do people reach you? We got to wrap up.
You can find me. My website is sellsniagara.com, SELLS.
That's a good website.
Yeah,
that's a good
rock and roll, eh?
Yeah.
But if you want to reach me directly, you can email me at chris@sellsniagara.com, or you can call or text at 905-246-7742.
That phone number one more time.
905-246-7742.
You're goddamn right.
All right, Chris, thank you for coming on the show, man. We appreciate it. Thank you for your time and being here. It is World Tattoo Day. If you like your ink, stay tuned, man. We're going to get into it. Brenda doesn't have any tattoos.
No, I do
You're
not.
afraid of tattoos. You got some tattoos, Chris?
I do. I have a whole sleeve of Zelda. I'll show it to you later.
I thought it was me on your sleeve.
That's underneath. This is a cover up.
Yeah.
Chris's second favorite realtor after himself, Brent Jones. There we go. Anyway, we're going to get into it in just a moment, plus another look at traffic. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to Fort Erie Radio, and this is Sloan with Money City Maniacs.
Mornings with Jones and Tyrrell. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. Only on Fort Erie Radio.